are here in Berlin in my studio in Pankow. And here in that studio I do mainly videos, paintings and music. I'm preparing this installation that consists out of a big question mark hanging in the museum. This question mark will be in the center of the installation, and there will be 5 dinosaurs dancing around it, and accompanied with paintings. A portrait of Rudi Martinez, the singer of the band Question Mark and the Mysterians. This is elk-leather. I got this from a farm in Norway, where the elks freely live, and they are shot to have the balance of the elks. And this is leather which cannot go into the industrial market because it has a lot of traces of the like insects living in the skin. It's glued together, and I always want to have the shape of a triangular shape, almost, but not in a geometrical form. It should be organic, because the organic form is the most, stays in the contrast to the space. The triangular shape is also in the sign theory the most unsecure sign, because it stands on the top, and if the top flips, the viewer is always pays a lot of attention to that sign. That's why it is in the street used for difficult situation or like situation where you have to pay attention. I am working against a popular attempt. Männer, Bomben, Satelliten. If the sins were scarlet, they are now white as snow. They have been washed in the blood of the mediator and redeemer. Time, 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 time. Time, time, time. I'm asked a lot to give interviews when I do a show or a solo show. Then it's often the task to explain the work, to give a public lecture about your artwork, or to give a statement for social media. And I try to avoid it in that classical sense, or how it is often done. Because it's a bit difficult if you have the work here and then a screen next to it where the artist not explains but tells you what it is about. And I think it's, I don't want that I myself have the last word about the interpretation about the works. I don't want to avoid this format totally, because I think it's just interesting how artists talk about work. So I try to find an in-between situation. I set out to greet the world in excessively framed scenes, bursting the pain caused by a lack of space. I endeavor to penetrate the width. I want an open plane for motion that allows me to articulate my desire for expansion. But what's humorous? Perhaps that what it becomes in the end. For me it's interesting when I see it as part of my reflection. For me it's interesting when I see it as part of my reflection to notice what kind of effect the work has when you realize it as such a size and accompany it with loud sounds. I have to inflate, otherwise I become a joke myself. But I want an attraction that is not a distraction, so that the past and future are part of the here and now. I think there's no normativity in feelings, but I want the viewers to feel like, to think like, oh, is there another show, or is there a catalog to that show, and when is the next show? Yeah, the studio also functions as a storage or an archive for objects. So this is something I wouldn't use to exhibit, but I use it for videos. I throw them down the stairs. I think it's an aggressive gesture, of course. And in that installation, in that film, that's a 14-channel video installation, I display several kinds of labor, different kinds of labor and violence. I had also this kind of aggression inside me, but I used it as a starting point because in that installation later it wasn't about that I'm aggressive, but I also showed workers building up walls in an exhibition from the exhibition display. So there were different kinds of labor, and I ordered or organized these images in a hierarchical order. So on the lower level there was the labor of the workers and me with the mannequins, and then it had different stages. And it also is accompanied with an old sleigh, and in a sleigh you have the animals, be it horses or other animals, and I flipped this horizontal images of forces into the verticality. So, and then the scale, and the scale is of course a symbol for justice. Then you have these harnesses for for animals, for the projectors, and there are like little animals, and all the cables have the form of an angel. The male gaze is not just a social phenomenon, it gets support from certain media. This can be countered on an artistic level of how you deal with visual media. The male gaze will always have trouble with a 360-degree image. I am not afraid. I know how to defend myself. I won't let myself so easily dishonored. I am not afraid of not being true to myself. I will only sign what I want to sign. I am not afraid. Nobody can bring me down. If a problem arises, I will adapt to it. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I'll keep saying that till I believe it.